creativity and insurance. No, this is not a contradiction, although, yes, sometimes the insurance industry and the insurance ecosystem suffers from a bad image as a very traditional, a bit boring, not very creative. Sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not so true. If I take, for instance, the life insurance segment of the market in Japan, where the regulation is so heavy that insurers do not have from the outside a lot of room for being creative, because the rules are set in a way that most of it is most of the product is fixed by the legislator and evolves step by step once the whole insurance body is approving the modification. However, the products are not all the same. So the part of the product, which is more like the price maybe, is influenced by what the insurer can bring on the table. So whether it's some additional services, but most of the time is the lower the price for the same product, because in terms of the shape of the product, there's not much room for creativity. Then the price is key. And create efficiency on the price level, then insurers internally and in their relationship with the distribution, they need to be very creative. So is that going to be a product which is sold standalone, or more like with other products as part of the whole target of the distribution, etc., to decrease maybe the level of the commission, the level of the inherent cost of administration for the insurer, so that there is value that is created for the client. So on the one hand, there is no room or not much room for creativity. On the other hand, in that very small area which is the freedom of the insurers and the ecosystem, there has to be a lot of creativity to create that efficiency, that appeal. So there's give and take there. Or for instance, let's take the digital economy and more particular global cloth retailer. So you buy your clothes or your shoes on online, and then oh my God, if it's not working or if I don't like it, I can send it back. You can ship it back, and let's say this exists for the last 15, maybe maximum 20 years. But in insurance, this element of giving back what you've bought because you don't like it exists for much longer. In Europe, in the 90s, this what they call the right to cancel the contract or to renounce the contract, so that you can say, okay, I bought this contract, but I don't want it anymore, so I cancel it in the first 14 or 30 days. You can say, I don't like this, and then what you get is your money back, and the contract's cancelled unless you've been insured. But most of it for life or disabilities, you can cancel the contract. In the US, the first law of allowing renunciation dates back to 1972, so it's like more than 50 years. So sometimes the digital economy and sales online is not so creative because it happened before in insurance. So eat your heart, creative so-called online economy. It exists before, and they take element of what they find somewhere else to fit their own needs. So what I'm saying by this is not creating competition or creating like winning or willing to win something for the insurance industry. What I'm doing here is trying to explain that in the insurance world or outside in different industries, the creativity is not something that you have and you have alone, a standalone as your silo or in your innovation department, but that creativity and the ability to use that creativity in meaningful solution for clients is not something that happens standalone. Creativity is the ability to bring ideas from different part of the ecosystem or even from different industries, and to be able to assemble them in your value chain with the ability to deliver, as I said, a meaningful product and meaningful solutions for clients, which create the appeal and which would either expand your client base or ensure that the clients are staying for a long period of time with you as a product provider. In my experience, also, how to foster that creativity is an important step. So it's not something that just happens on a daily basis when the employees are going to the office and say, "Oh, I'm going to be creative." It's the creativity needs to be fostered, and it's the duty, I believe, not only from the innovation team, but from the top management of a company to support that creativity, those creative moments. It's not necessarily the duty of the CEO to organize all the seminars and choose which external people or internal employees are going to speak in those seminars, but it's the duty of the CEO and the top management to create the cultural environment internally and the awareness and the openness and pushing the staff to be open, to be creative, to be open to make suggestions, to be open to take on their own time to bring solution forward that can be rewarded by implementation. It can also not be happening as a standalone. It's not only the job of the innovation team and department to push and implement the solution. The innovation needs to happen throughout the whole team. Innovation alone, creating a super innovative product that cannot be mastered and administered, or even where, for instance, the sales team and the sales director are not convinced and do not want to propose it to distribution, is useless. So the key there is really to bring people from various departments internally, but also externally, to find creative element and to be able to influence each other to have a product, a service, a combination of product and service that will be, on the one hand, well received by the client base, well received by those distribution teams that will provide that to clients, but also that is a solid in the administration and in the services to client. The one thing that worked really well is when we had seminar, we had a moment where we, as a team, as internal employees coming from various background and department or even different countries, were talking about what innovation means for them, being able to demonstrate what they've done in their own country or what they think about that. So there's a preparation work with concrete elements here and there so that the mind of the internal team is already set into really sharing, co-creating already, and that you have external stakeholders of the insurance ecosystem that were coming. And when I say insurance ecosystem, there were surgeons coming with showing something that they created, especially with tech companies and 3D printing, so that their way of operating patient was much more precise, and they had the ability to repeat and prepare the operation when so that they're fully prepared and for a better success rate when they're operating clients. So we're receiving that type of demonstration. We had futurists coming, we had AI companies, we had plenty of different companies that were coming, demonstrating what they could do. And of course, they were coming to do business with the insurer. But not only for that, it's not only for that they were there. They were also there to actually get feedback from us, what we think is working and what is not working. So they could benefit from the exchange with a lot of professionals from different backgrounds, and they were fine-tuning their service, their product, their way of selling their own solutions. And for us, as an internal team of the insurance company, we were able to jump from being ready to co-create at the beginning of the seminar to actually delivering a more meaningful outcome conclusion having better discussions afterwards, and then having a better mindset to create better solution when we're back in our department, whether it's in the same country or another country. So it was one, preparing ourselves. So there's cultural change. It was pushed by top management. There were a lot of external parties that were there to enrich our discussions. Sometimes we were doing business, and always we define new solutions. And then those solutions or those products were then implemented afterwards. So that there was really something, a lot of work in advance and concrete outcome at the end. But that's something that always has to work not as a silo, not as a standalone person or a small team of people, but throughout the company with internal stakeholders and external stakeholders. That's the best way to deliver and ensure sustainable creativity in the insurance industry.